they escaped to the United States. But anyway, directly attack the United States, I don't think this is possible. Doesn't like the Japan can come over to the Hawaii. But we have a big problem. We have 100,000 soldiers in Japan and in South Korea. Okay, we have a very good relation with Taiwan, and we have a big interest in the Far East. And I think this is something indirect, but it is direct, related to our peace and security.
Okay, fine. We're going to run after
Thank you,
that.
Dr. Shan.
Thanks very much. Let's go to Roger calling. Roger, you have a question for our guest.
Yes, two, if you please. And I'm afraid our government would dump Taiwan in a heartbeat.
Okay, do you have a question?
Yeah, I just very much admire, I might have wished I had the courage to suffer through what you have, Mr. Wu, for these human freedoms. And of course, you mentioned about communications. I guess a satellite dish is still a self-imposed death sentence in China, yes? And so we hear about, the Internet's going to open up freedom in China, but it goes all through their portals.
Okay, do you have a question for our guest?
Well, could you respond to that first, please?
Is there anything at all about satellite dishes over there? Would you be allowed to pull down things off a satellite, or would they know what you're doing? Don't they have informers every place?
Oh, yeah, I just talking, I think that probably 15 years ago, I heard from a very nice, very great American entrepreneur. He say, he suggests do one thing, help each Chinese family have a TV set, have a container. That means if the people receive the free information, they will do something for themselves. Okay, and that will make a significant change in China. But today, almost every family in China have a TV, but the whole channel is controlled by the government.
Right.
And the Chinese using the TV to do their propaganda. And today, the internet is such powerful. Okay, China is supposed to number 2 country of the world have the internet. Okay, next to the United States, probably 90 million people on the internet. Okay, but the Chinese government using Cisco, using Microsoft, using Nortel, whatever, to control the internet. Okay, they was very fast. They set up a team. Probably the total number is more than 30 or 35,000 policemen. Is internet police. Okay, the civilian, all these internet, could they control it?
And so they're not going to let the people really have any freedom of exchange. We're going to have to go quickly to Gene in Walla Walla. Hi, Gene. Did you have a question or comment?
Oh, I just had a comment, Dr. Stan and Mr. Wu. It was about 1993 that Harry Wu came to Walla Walla, and he spoke at Whitman College. My wife and I went down to hear him, and I remember very distinctly as he started his speech that night, he said, "I stand before you tonight as a free man." Yes. And it forever kind of changed my outlook and made me more appreciative of the freedom I enjoy here in America. And then I also purchased his book, Bitter Winds, which I've never regretted. And I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you.
And I thank you, Mr. Wu, for your courageousness.
Well, remember, of course, Gene, that we can lose our freedom here in America if the people are not involved, and well aware of course, who brought communism to China, and we perhaps talk a little bit about that later. But thank you so much, Jeff. Anything else you wanted to say?
That's it, Dr.
All right,
Stan.
fine. Let's go to Tim in Indianapolis. Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
Oh, hi, gentlemen. Thank you. Mr. Wu, America is a communist country. Our government controls the media. Our government controls religion.
No, the government doesn't really control the media. There are some of the corporations that control the media that may work in concert with the government, but, we still can have the freedom of speech that I have today. So, when they take me off the air, then you can begin to worry.
Well, and also we have political prisoners, H. Rap Brown, James Traficante. We invade countries, Iran, Iraq. But my question is to you. We've heard about North Korea making nuclear missile threats. This is just a scare tactic. China controls North Korea, doesn't it? And before Korea could make a move, China has to give the okay.
All right, let's get Mr. Wu's comment on that. Do you really feel that North Korea would be more or less subservient to Communist China, and North Korea would not make a major move without their permission?
Yes, that's a two-part question. The first part you didn't mention. The North Korea, if the Chinese cut off the fuel supply, it cut off the food supply, cut off the political supply, the North Korea regime will collapse maybe in 1 or 2 weeks. They finish. Okay, Chinese, suppose cooperate with the United States, talking about no nuclear weapon in Korea Peninsula. But anyway, they know North Korea is a good card for them to play. Okay, they need that. They support Cuba, support North Korea very, very strongly. Okay. Second thing, I just want to mention that everything in the world suppose have to depend on the comparison. Okay, it is true the American system sometimes have some problem. Okay, but anyway, today I'm stand over here. I can down with President Bush. I have no problem at all. If I go to China and say down with the Hu Jintao, right away I go to the prison camp. Right away, no problem at all. My brother, just because he was suspect, damaged the portrait of the Mao. He was beaten to death.
That, of course, would be the difference, Tim. Certainly that is not going to be happening, at least hopefully for a time here. Now, one of our callers had called and said, what about the future of religion in China? Is the home church growing there? Is the home church, fundamental evangelical church, growing? And will that have an impact on the future of this country?
Definitely. When the communists come to the power, they turn down all kinds of religions, Muslim, Tibetan, Buddhism, Christian, Catholic. In this country, in the first 30 years, in the 1950s, 60s, 70s, there's no any religions at all. Okay, no churches, no monastery, no temples. Because the people at the time, whatever, stupid or not, they believe into the communism. They believe the Mao just like a god. Okay, they follow him very well. But after 30 years, they learn for their own experience, and they say, wow, this is a joke. Forget it. So today, the kind of religions include Falun Gong, include all kind of Buddhism, Christian, Catholic, is coming back. The people are seeking the faith. That will play a very important role in the future, in Chinese future.
Well, I certainly hope so, and I look forward to the continued growth of the church and really the transformation of the lives of the people there. It's only a personal relationship with our Lord can. Now, one of the callers called in and asked, what are the possibilities of a revolution in China? I know that the Chinese government was really frightened to death after Tiananmen Square, at least at that time, that there would be uprisings all across the country. Is there the possibility of a revolution, or would the government simply react with such ferocity and repression that nobody would dare to do that?
It is a very scary situation. I really don't know. Because in Chinese history, the killing, the civil war, it happened all the time. Okay, I really hope can peacefully graduate to move into a new situation. But the problem is not from the people. Is from the person who control the power. The power struggle in China on the upper level is all the time very bloody and very scary. Okay? And they can running the people, make all kind of propaganda and make the people stupid, follow them. And, in the last 2,000 years, Chinese always killing each other all the time.
And I think it really is so sad. I remember after the Tiananmen Square uprising, the George Bush administration could, of course, taken a stand and said what you're doing is wrong. Instead, George Herbert Walker Bush granted most favored nation treaty status to the communist tyrants who had slaughtered thousands and thousands of young men at that time. At least that's what we were told. almost as if it's a reward for maintaining the oppression. Why did they do that? Well, I don't know. Let's go to Robert calling from Illinois. Hi, Robert. Did you have a question for our guest?
Hi, Dr. Stan. Yes, I'd like to ask Mr. Wu about, I know in our media they had a report